Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second training and implementation session on creating your freebie and your landing page. How are we all? You can see the comments. We've got people joining us. Margot's here. Katrina's here. How are we all going? All right. Canada Day. Cool. Alrighty. Let me just check everything is streaming well. Seems like it is. How did we go with creating messaging for your freebie? How did you go with that? I'd love to hear how everyone's gone with that. If you were creating one from scratch, if you were refining one, let me know in the comments. Hey, John. Yeah, I'm so glad you're tuning in from Brisbane. You're only an hour away from me. Okay. Cool. Everything's working lovely. All right. To catch everyone up to speed, if you weren't here last week, I'm going to share my screen, add this onto stage here. Last week we went through we had a training on what would actually create a great freebie. You would see it if you want to go back and visit it in the classroom in create a freebie that attracts buyers. We've got coming up with the freebie idea under workshop here, which we did, have tons of tips and examples, a ChatGPT example thread as well. So if you haven't done that, you can go through all of that here. Now, today we're going to move on to the second phase, which is really, we're going to look at refining actually the messaging that you have done for your freebie landing page. So this is the landing page where you're going to collect emails for people to grab your freebie. I'm going to do an example today. I thought I'd take you through an example. Now, I saw, Katrina, you shared yours in the questions thread. So if you don't mind, let me know in the chat. But if you don't mind, I'll use yours as an example. I've actually pulled up your freebie worksheet here. And I thought, let's go through this as an example. I will edit it. And leave some comments for you so that you can finalize this. But I want to show you what this would look like. Okay, is it all right if I edit this sheet? Now, we'll work through this. So I'll work through a little bit of editing on the messaging, and then we'll go down to, yes, okay, awesome. Then we'll go down to the landing page structure. So Katrina, you've already filled this out, which is awesome. So let me give you a bit of a zoom back here for the landing page. And I'll go through and look at the messaging, and then we'll look at the landing page so that you have one that you can finalize and get published. And then what we'll do is, if anyone else has any worksheet ready and you would like me to review that next, feel free to pop it on the questions thread now on questions release and make sure it's editable. If not, what we'll do after this is we'll just move into some Q&A time so I can answer your questions about setup. I can see, Margot, you've said you've got a quiz done in your CRM, just have a couple of logistics to work out to hook it in the funnel through the workflow. So I can answer your questions about that. If you like, we can sort of dive into setup as well, if that would be helpful. All right, let's start here and look at our freebie worksheet. So first of all, we've got what is it and who is it for? Now you'll see here that I had an example, which also you can see it. You can see the example. So the point of this is it's meant to be quite, like short and to the point of what this is. It's not the promise or the outcome. It's actually just like specifically what it is. So here in my example, I said free welcome email template for coaches. So it's a welcome email template. I'm not saying what it is going to help them do. I'm just saying what it actually is. So for here, we've probably got a little bit too much information. So you've kind of got the quiz, and then you've also got the outcome here. So here, what I would do is I'll leave what you've got there because it says suggesting. So I'm going to say free quiz for parents and of who it's for. So would they say Katrina, I'm curious with this identity. Would the parents say neurodivergent teens, or would they just not necessarily know that they are neurodivergent, and more say free quiz for parents of disorganized teens? I was trying to think what is the best identity to speak to them. So I would probably have some like descriptor here, so we know who this for. This is for. So it's a free quiz for parents of disorganized teens, okay? Whatever the parents are going to go, yep, that is the identity. That is the frustration I'm having with my child. Depends on whether or not I should target my niche or stay general. I would get as specific as you can, just as long as the parents are also going to connect with that and they're going to be the people, like the people who are going to work with you, like what are they going to say about their teen or how they're going to describe their teen? The people who are actually going to be a good fit to work with you. So that's what I would use for the identity. So I'll leave that ball in your court, but here I just essentially be saying free quiz for parents of and who it's for. That is what the purpose of this is, just them knowing, yep, this is for me. It's not about the outcome. So this is a common mistake that people make here. So if you're watching along and you're also wanting to create yours, we don't want any of this extra information yet, although it is good. We don't want it yet. That's under here. So then we go down to what will it help them do? What is the main outcome? So for example, in my example, I have the free welcome email template for coaches is going to help you write your welcome email in less than 15 minutes. You can see that's just a clear outcome. It's just like a one-liner outcome. So here, you're more going into into this part here. See here? So these are more like multiple outcomes, but here we just want like one clear sentence, overarching sentence of what this will help them do. It's kind of like it's essentially an offer promise, but for your freebie. So when you think about your freebie and how you're creating it and the messaging you're using for it, you want to actually think of writing the messaging like you're writing your messaging for a paid offer. Okay, so we're gonna have an offer promise here, which is essentially this, I think. So you've got discover your teen's number one barrier to school success and what to do about it, what's holding your teen back in school. Clearly identify your teen's biggest challenge, normalize a struggle, give 2 to 3 examples of what this looks like in real time, give 3 tips for supporting this skill development at home. So this is more going into the other sort of side effect outcomes, apart from the biggest challenge, which we've already got. So I'm thinking we just want one clear sentence here. So quiz for parents to discover. So discover, or maybe understand. Clearly the biggest issue, now correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm understanding is that the biggest issue is that the parents are wanting to know what is holding their teen back in school, or is it like, why is my teen struggling at school? If we had to get even more specific with the language, or discover why your teen is struggling at so much at school, or just discover why, because I think phrasing it that way is a little more pain point provoking than discover your teen's barrier to school success. Yeah. Because I think what the parents are probably saying is, why is my teenager struggling so much at school? Like, why is everything so hard? As opposed to why, what's the barrier to their success? Like, I'm just thinking in the natural conversational language they might use. Discover why your teen is struggling so much at school. And then I would say, and what to do about it is good. I'm wondering if we can make that even more specific. Discover why your teen is, or make it sound like more enticing. So discover why your teen is struggling so much at school, and almost like I don't want to oversimplify it, but almost in this quiz, you're going to give them simple tips. How to help them at home, yes. I think that sort of goes into this language here. Or maybe it's like what you can do about it as a parent. Discover why your teen is struggling so much at school, and quiz, free quiz for parents of neurodivergent teens or disorganized teens, or however you want to phrase that. Discover why your teen is struggling so much at school and what you can do to support them. And here I would like to say something like, and like simple tweaks, simple changes you can make to support them. Would you say that's correct? I don't want to oversimplify this, but you do want the quiz to sound appealing to them. Like, are you going to give them some simple tips they can use? Yeah. What you can do to support them, and this might be enough. Otherwise, maybe yeah. I also want to say, because it's a quiz, they're going to get a profile, right? So what is the profile they're going to get? Just looking down here. Oh, I see. Planning, organization, or time management. Okay, so it's their number one barrier to school success. So essentially, I'm thinking with your outcomes, are you going to say, yep, your teen is struggling most with planning, or your teen struggles most with organization, or they struggle most with time management? Is that how you're categorizing them? Like, how are you planning on categorizing the results of the quiz? Yeah. Okay. Discover why your teen is struggling so much at school. Okay, so then that has to actually fit into this. This will help you understand why your teen acts the way they do and empathize with their struggles. That's good. That's just great. I love all of these. These are really well written. I'm just trying to make sure that the way we're describing the quiz makes sense. Let's brainstorm a few ideas, perhaps. Just brainstorm a few more ideas. So I'm just going to say, actually, I might just say, I am creating a free quiz. Say these are the 3 really clear outcomes the outcomes. And then I am looking to create promise statement I'll just say like, this is what I have so far. Does this align with the I don't like that because I don't think that's something that they're saying. Identify the specific barrier. Understand why and the impact of the issue. Getting actionable, doable strategies. I don't like that because that's just probably not language they would use. I like this expert-backed strategies to support them. That feels like it kind of sets your offer apart. I like find out what's really holding your team back at school, because it kind of points into, what is it? Is it that they're just sort of, I mean, they kind of know these things though. I love this. To support them right away feels really strong. What do I say? The reason why I'm hesitant to use discover why your teen is struggling so much at school is because the outcome here is, you're telling them the areas, like the actual outcome of the quiz is you're showing them the areas they struggle most in. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Is that kind of how the quiz would go? They're showing them the area of maybe like most priority. I do like that because parents are already aware that their child does struggle with planning and organization and time management. But it's like, where on earth do I start? I think that's a really interesting angle. I'm just going to copy what you said. Okay, so maybe it's about helping parents figure out which struggle they should target first. By the way, I really like this phrase on the end. Number one struggle and what to do about it. Yeah. Okay, that's great. 9 questions. So I just say the quiz shows them the number one number. Okay, I don't like any of those. Essentially, I want to say, like, figure out the number one skill your team needs help with. It's almost like, I mean, maybe. What did you say specifically? Figure out which struggle they should target first. I want to lean into language around I don't quite know how to say this. I feel like we're so close. This is almost it, but I'm just not sure if parents would phrase it like that. Figure out which school success skill you should focus on first. I feel like that would be good in the supporting copy. But yeah, figure out which school success skill you should focus on first. So here we really want the descriptor to actually show where to start supporting your teen. I really like. I like that. I do like that. Okay, that was not enough context, but like if we come back here, free quiz for parents of disorganized teens. Discover. It's almost like just like discover the number one area your teen is most struggling with. Or maybe it is through that angle of number one area that's holding your teen back at school. The number one area, it's almost like the number one area struggle. Oh, this is interesting. How do you feel about some of this language? Discover the number one struggle that's holding your team back at school and get simple expert-backed strategies to support them right away, or find the number one area that's making school harder for your teen. I think that's interesting because it kind of implies that it's harder for them than maybe other students, and get simple expert-backed ways to help them today. Do any of these resonate with you? I feel like this is getting at what you're wanting to actually help them with the quiz. I'll copy both over. I think this is an interesting angle. It's like we've kind of gone back to this, but I think just maybe in some more conversational language. I'll leave these those other examples there, just so you have something you can look back on. I actually like strategies over ways. To support them right away, to help them today, either or, really. Yeah, it's either holding your teen back at school or making school harder for your teen. I do like the making school harder for your teen, but you know your audience best. So I'm just going to underline that. I really like that because I think it just implies that your experience is like different maybe than other people's experiences. So let me just put this down here in all of the options that we were talking about, and I'll leave this one here. And I'll, I'm just going to bold it so you can see it. And then okay, so free quiz for parents of disorganized teens. Find the number one area that's making school harder for your teen and get simple expert-backed strategies to help them today. How does that feel? Then if we come down here, we're looking at the 3 outcomes that is going to happen with the quiz. So discover your teen's number one barrier to school success. I would just even say feels good. Yeah. Here, because we've kind of already said that we've got the what that's making school harder. We've kind of already said that. I would say we don't need to repeat ourselves. I would almost say discover if planning, organization, or time management. I mean, it could be all. Of course, it is all, but it's like discover. Let me just like rephrase this. Can you rephrase this sentence? What I'm wanting to do is rephrase it so whether planning, organization, or time management. This is not right. So this is not good formatting, but I'm just going to write it out, brain dump it. Discover whether planning, organization, or time management are the number one struggle to struggle. It's the number one struggle to tackle right now with your teen. Okay, so like rephrase the sentence so this makes sense. Okay, that's what I kind of was wanting to get at. Find out whether planning, organization, or time management is the number one challenge your teen is facing right now, so you can better understand their behavior and support them with empathy. I feel like that's pretty much it. I like the key area because it also shows that still they can struggle with the other areas. Discover whether planning, organization, or time management is a key area holding your team back, so you can understand what's really going on and support them with confidence. Support them with confidence is fine. I like support with empathy. I think that's what you had before. Get clarity on what's really tripping your teen up. Plan, organization, and learn how to support them with empathy, not frustration. Okay, it's a bit of a catchphrase here, that not frustration. You originally had, yeah, I think we can kind of keep what you had, but did we already use the word discover up here? Or we had find up here? I just wouldn't use them at the same place. So here, I know you liked the word discover. So I'm going to change this statement above to discover. And then down here, we can just use find. It's just we don't want to use the same twice. So then here, oh, sorry. Where are we? Here. And then I like how you had this. I like what you already had there. So let's just do this. Find out whether planning, organization, or time management is the number one challenge your teen is facing right now. This will help you understand why your teen acts the way they do and empathize with their struggles. How does that feel? Understand how, here again, because we're talking about their number one struggle, I would just tweak this to be understand how your teens, oh my gosh, I'm having this issue on my keyboard. Sorry, number one struggle. Oh, we've already got this. Understand how your teen's number one struggle impacts their school success and why it matters. This will help you see how developing this skill now will have a positive impact on your teen's future. I mean, obviously, it will have a positive impact. Is this part here telling parents what they already know? I know I'm getting really specific here. We're doing like some real micro editing, but this part here, this will help you see how developing this skill now will have a positive impact on your teen's future. Is that something they need to have an aha moment around? Understand how your teen's struggle impacts their school success and why it matters. But I understand what you're wanting to say. You're wanting to say that it's going to set them up for success in the future. I love this, by the way. This is absolutely perfect. Oh, discover your teen's number one barrier at school success so you can better understand why school is so hard and how you can support them. You'll see that their struggles are not your fault or theirs. I like that. You'll see that their struggles are not. Yeah, I really like that because that's important. Discover your teen's number one barrier to school success. So we've kind of already said that. Oh, you what's this one for? Teen's number one barrier to school success. For the, do you mean for the promise? This area here? Your revision for the mock-up. Sure. Oh, awesome. I like how you will see that their struggles are not your fault or theirs. This is great. This is great. Okay, those 3 points are really good. Yeah. And stick with these points. These are great. The only thing I would do is change the beginning of this to be kind of like this part. I'm going to leave a comment for you. And make sure you're not using discover and discover twice. But I like what you've got there. So I would integrate these 3 options at the beginning of your points on the landing page. Make sure you don't double up on words in both the promise statement, that's above, and these 3 outcome statements. For example, discover or find. Don't use either twice. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this note here for you so you can finalize this based on what, your preference. But if we've got this here, that's fantastic. This is fantastic. I really think that this is good here. And then everything that you've got down here, this is great. This is great. I like that you're turning this angle onto the parents, and it helps them focus their support. It helps them have peace of mind, knowing their efforts are making a difference. It's really good. It's really good. And I love that you'll see their struggles and not your fault or theirs. I almost feel like you could put, if it's too long here with tweaking with those other 3 points, mentioning like planning, organization, and so on, I wonder if you could almost put that as because I think that's so powerful. I almost wonder if you could put that in here under your outcome statement. Like, discover the number one area that's making school harder for your teen. I'll show you what this could look like. Yeah. Here also, I can see this is edited language. So you had what was above and then stuff that's edited here. Generally, I just do all of my editing in the first section and make sure it's finalized, and then I move it onto the landing page. So it's just a simple matter of like just plugging it in. So that's why, I didn't review this section. But, you could use the word identify here like you had here. I think that's great. Identify what's holding your teen back in school, or identify what's making school harder for your teen, and get 3 simple ways to support your teen at home today. I would remove this. I wouldn't say, so you can turn their biggest struggle into a win today, because that, like, what is that? What is a win? What does that mean? It does feel a little vague. And you don't really need to say this quiz will. I would just say start with either identify or discover. So that could look like identify and I like saying number one area because oh my goodness. Let's just do this for now. Identify the number one area that's making school harder for your teen, and get 3 simple. If this is too long, you could just cut out simple. To help them today, or to support them at home. And this is me being so particular, my concern with saying support them at home is that parents for some reason won't really make the link between school and home and think, well, I need to help them at school, and not realize that helping them at home is helping them at school. So that's why I would more lean toward language of to help them today. But I'll leave that, the ball in your court there, because you're an expert on, the parents and the kids, obviously, and I'm not. But that's my thinking there. Okay, so I would refine this section. I would shorten the button copy, even just like, maybe not take me to the quiz. I'd actually just make it like, take the quiz now. I just make it really short and sharp. Inside this quiz, and then I'd make this language not inside the quiz, but more you'll walk away with, or after taking this quiz, you will. And how can we make it even sound faster? You could even say like how long will it take them to take this quiz? 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Because I'm always thinking when I'm editing copy, like, how can I make it sound faster, easier, more simple? 2 minutes, yeah. After taking this 2-minute quiz, you will discover, learn, and get 3 quick fixes. So to me, I see that and go, oh, 2 minutes? Cool. That's not going to take me long. It's not one of those quizzes that's going to take like 30 minutes. As opposed to inside the quiz, it's more just like after taking it. It's helping them envision them having taken the quiz. Boom, boom, boom. And then we've got your bio. Awesome. 36 years experience as a K-12 educator, special education teacher, consultant, and school leader. I've had the privilege of working with students from kindergarten to grade 12. This gives me a unique could you say, I don't know if this is quite right, but almost could you say, as I don't know how powerful, well, I mean, it is powerful is the fact that you have worked with a broad range of students, I suppose. So that does make sense. I feel like the point here is that you've worked with students from kindergarten all the way to year 12. This gives me a unique perspective on what students need to succeed at each stage of their academic journey. That makes sense. I understand where students get stuck, what supports actually work, and how to help them build the skills they need to thrive, especially during key transitions like starting high school, moving to the graduation program. I think, see, this is too long. This is more like a longer bio. I think you get the point across. I don't know why that keeps doing that. I think you drive that point home in just these first 3 lines. I think you can remove this, even though I like it, but just in terms of shortening it. Now I work one-on-one with neurodiverse teens who feel overwhelmed, anxious, or behind to help them build essential executive function. Okay, again, this is too long, but it's good. It's not bad. It's good, by the way. I would just shorten it to the essential information. So this is your expertise. Yeah, this is good. Would you say neurodiverse teens and their parents, or not really? I would more just say, like, now I work one-on-one with neurodiverse teams who feel overwhelmed, anxious, or behind. Or you could even just say, like, who are struggling at school, to shorten it. I help them. This is like really fantastic. So it's just a matter of cutting down on this page. It doesn't mean that like on your website, you're going to have an about page with more information about you, like all of this info. You support the parents. Yeah. I think you can just cut out basically everything. Like you can cut out all of this. If you want, you could keep this, but it does still feel quite long. Let's just say because in this sentence you say that you help them, and that'll shorten it quite a lot. But it's really good. I'm like, this is all really great info. It's great, but take this with a grain of salt, but that's my suggestion, that you can cut out all of that and just sort of get to the point of saying, you essentially want to say in your bio, like, hello, this is me. This is why I am doing what I'm doing. Like, this is why I can do what I do. This is my experience. This is who I help. And now I'm here to help you. Obviously in there, you want to be mentioning parents because the parents are a part of that. And here you're speaking to the parent, like whether your teen is struggling with this or doing this, I'm here to help. I think you could even preparing for their next big transition. That's all to do with school, right? You could even cut that right down to like, so if your teen is struggling right now with school, I am here to help. And then finish with that. Like you could even cut that down to that point. And by the way, you'll be able to watch back this recording and have these and review this again too. Send me the quiz now. I just take this right down to like, take the quiz now, because that's what they're going to do, right? Yeah. Okay, that was the example. How does this feel? Do you have any questions, Katrina? I feel like with these tweaks, you should be able to finalize this. Bringing all of the pieces above down. Obviously, we would bring down that information about the quiz, switch that out there. You would need to just refine this based on what you feel is best. Same with this part here. I just don't want to miss it. Not sure if I should mention how the quiz will also address some of the parents' pain points. Yeah, you've included that. We talked about that. This is my niche to date on my website, and work I've done with you has been more general, speaking to all high school students, neurodiverse and okay. This is your call. I think this is just like the last thing to discuss. Who do you want to work with? This is totally your call. It's two things. It's two-parters. Who do you want to work with? And when parents come to you, do they know that their child is neurodiverse, or do you have, or is the, or do they just like maybe it's half and half? Maybe some of them describe their child as just disorganized, and you're able to help them regardless of whether they have a diagnosis or not. So I'll leave that ball on your court. I think just consider who you want to work with, and if it is that yes, I can help both students who are neurodiverse and neurotypical, and I can also help parents, whether they recognize if their child is or isn't, then choose your language accordingly. Whereas if you're only wanting to work with neurodiverse teens and parents who maybe you think like it's easier for me to do this, if parents actually understand their teen and they can come to me and they have a diagnosis or whatever, and they say my child is neurodiverse, and it's just easier for the whole process. Those are the sort of people I want to work with. If that doesn't matter to you, you could just say more like disorganized or teens who feel overwhelmed, anxious, behind, and use those descriptors. But decide, and whichever you do, stick with it. Okay. Now let's open up to a little bit of Q&A time. We have about 10 minutes left, so I'd love to open up to wider Q&A time for anyone else who is on here. Let me jump over here. Who has any questions about, your freebie, any maybe like freebie ideas? If you're on here and you weren't here last week and you want to workshop a freebie idea, questions about implementation of the freebie. Let me know. Okay. Awesome. And I'm just going to quiz making platforms. Sure. John, yes, drop some ideas with what you're thinking. And I can give you some ideas. We can workshop an idea quickly. Okay. Like who it's for and what you are thinking. Quiz making platforms. There are lots. Honestly, just Google. There is. I haven't created a quiz in a very long time, but there are tons. I can see even Canva has one. That's really interesting. But I don't know if that's going to be a quiz in terms of you delivering results. I know Interact's a good one. I can see, what else is there? Typeform. It's a lead generating quiz, by the way. So you're looking, if you're looking up platforms to use, you're really wanting one that's going to help you actually generate leads. Because that's the point. Like, you're gathering their email address, giving them the quiz. I can see one called Involve Me. Haven't seen that one before. Have a little Google. Interact, Involve Me. But essentially you want one that is going to help you generate leads. Yeah, awesome. Okay, John. Let me bring this over here. Watch half your freebie video. I was thinking an audit to self-assess where they are using the traffic light method, red, yellow, green. I work with men wanting to build better habits. Okay, cool. And when you say, tell me more about the audit. I'm just thinking this through. So an audit to self-assess where they're using, so you've got a method. Okay. And what does that mean? And what are they assessing? Drop a bit of info there. I'll be back in just 1 minute. Okay, so is this like, here are your 3 key areas and let's assess your habits? And is it any particular type of men? Like, is it men in your 20s and 30s? Is it, I'm just trying to think how we can get more specific. Brainstorming. Just going to share with you. See if there's anything we can. Oh, goodness me, that's not right. Yeah. I personally want to help them with health and relationships, as I can't help much with girls. Sure. I want to audit. So an audit, would that be almost like they're taking a quiz then? Or is it more like a self-audit? It doesn't have to be a quiz. It could be a self-audit. And how does this tie into what you are wanting to sell? I know you have your school community. Millennials, cool. Okay, awesome. I think that's going to make it more specific because it is a broad topic, which you obviously know. But if we talk to millennials, then it's going to be different, much different, millennial. What does stuck look like for them? All right. And what are you going to show them? This makes sense because it would go into your school community, I'm assuming. So with this, they're going to then get like lead to the school as the solution. Yeah. And you probably want to give them some simple tips first to give them some value, and then lead into that community. The thing here to make this most tangible with your messaging is going to be getting really specific about what this means. What does it mean that they're unsure what they are doing with their lives? What does that actually look like? Let's just say, and then if we go to we definitely want to make sure we're not going to be broad or too generic. We want to keep it focused, easy to consume. If we look at our freebie worksheet, yeah. Help them assess and reflect on 3 key life pillars to identify where they're most out of alignment. Spark self-awareness, help them pinpoint what's not working so they know where to focus first when building better habits and creating momentum. Okay. I would just love to know their fitness isn't as good as it once was. They feel tired and fatigued even after waking up after a full night's sleep. Yeah. That's really good. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get more specific, taking the info that you're giving me. This is what I would do for you. And this is going to be the same with your offer as well. Yeah. This is going to be the same with your offer as well, is just getting really specific on what these areas are. I mean, this is not just applicable to your freebie, but this is going to be applicable to your main offer as well, if these are the 3 areas that you help them with inside your main offer. I almost feel like, have you seen those? You can do a quiz, but have you ever seen those things where they rate each area? I'm just trying to think of what it's called. It's almost like there's a tool where you go through and you rate each area. Like there's all these different areas. I'm trying to think of what it is. The life wheel. Yeah. Have you seen that before, John? I think that's interesting. I don't know if there's something there, but I almost wonder if you could create some kind of tool, like kind of like the life wheel, where, like, yes, a quiz could work, but also giving them a tool so they can like a simple tool where they can create a wheel where they are actually assessing, and reflect. Have you seen something like this before, John? Because I think that could also be interesting. Yeah, look it up. I really like doing that. I've used that once before. You can then, you can split things up a little bit more. So if you wanted to. And you can have reflection prompts. Like, you can even use AI here to help you with this. Also, I don't mind the idea of a free habit challenge, but I do like the idea of an audit, because what an audit does is it helps them see the areas that they're struggling in, helps them realize that, yes, there is an issue, and then helps them, see your solution as valuable because you've shown the gap. So it's really awesome when a freebie can show people the gap. It can show them, oh, yeah, this is the area you're struggling with. I'll share this thread with you as well on the questions thread. Would you like me to help you name it, the alignment wheel, or reset your life in 3 pillars? I don't mind, like, the alignment audit. Doesn't necessarily sound that exciting, but the alignment wheel, the modern man audit. This is awful. The millennial man reset is interesting, but I don't think that speaks to audit. I like this sort of, like, find out what's really holding you back and where to start first, or this is interesting language too, because they probably feel like they're lazy, but you're saying they don't feel like they don't have purpose. Ooh, that's an interesting analogy. That's really fun. Oh, level up audit. Level up's kind of cool. Ooh, I like level up audit, and then making it sort of themed in that way to assess their life stats and see what area needs a power up. That's kind of cool. Yeah. How do you feel about looking into this kind of angle? I do like the idea of an audit. I think it will be less intimidating for you to make maybe than a quiz, and having some kind of wheel or some kind of audit. I'm happy to keep brainstorming with you, but I can share this thread with you also. What I'll do is I'll share this with you on the questions thread so you can jump in and use it yourself. But how does this feel? One All right, I'm going to share this on the questions thread for you, John, so you can dive into this more. And then I think if you, focus on that today, then feel free to on the questions thread. Here we go. Then if you come back to me with maybe if you go through the worksheet, you sort of flesh out the messaging and the concept a little bit more for your freebie, then I think we can go from there. I can give you a review. We can refine it a bit more. Also, I'd be happy to do this with your main offer too. I think it'll be great for you to go through a lot of this messaging stuff deeper with your main offer. But like this is good, a good start with your freebie. I think it will be great. I know you already have your main offer, but I think it will be really helpful for you to go through this as well, clarifying it and making sure that it's not general, but that we're getting really specific on who this is for, the pain points these men are facing, like really, really granular, so that they know that your community is for them. Like I really want to see that work for you. And you said, I really like this idea because I feel like it will fit well with my audience that speaks their language, not too self-helpy. Yeah, I like that. And it will help differentiate you as well. Cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for jumping on today. This was fun. I'll see you back next week. We're going over email sequences, I believe. So let me just double check that for you all. Review your freebies, flesh out your messaging, create your landing page. And if you would like a review of any of these pieces, please let me know on the questions thread and I'll be happy to jump in. Okay. Have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you later.